Age of Sigmar. More like Age of Sigma Riz. Sigma Riz. Hello and welcome to Flyover Culture, your guided tour to pop culture in the Midwest. I'm a very sweaty Peyton Whaley. GenCon, the largest tabletop gaming convention in North America, is a strange, beautiful beast. And not just because it's easier to find a spicy cinnamon cereal beer than it is to find a parking spot. This is where publishers from around the world come to show off their games and find the next big thing. And if you're a game designer, that's an invaluable opportunity to pitch your game. A little better than a cold email. So I'm here to find out, when you're at GenCon pitching your game, how to really cut through the noise and blow their socks off. Now, not anyone can waltz into a con of tens of thousands of people and shout, "Hey, make my game!" Nor should you. Don't do that. But if you're trying to turn your prototype into a reality, the more traditional route is to track down a publisher, a company that can handle manufacturing, logistics, marketing, and even help flesh out design ideas. Their goal is to find games they think will be successful, as well as fit into their own library and make it happen. It's a long process, but one that can take a good idea and turn it into a real, tangible product that people can buy and confuse their friends with the rules. But these publishers, they're mysteries wrapped in enigmas, posed as questions. What do they really want? Well, we're here. We could, just ask. A con like this one has creators of all types of games from all over. So I talked to 5 different publishers of different sizes and areas of expertise to get the start of a clearer picture on how to pitch. And it's worth noting, not all publishers take outside pitches. You can't walk up to the studio that makes Catan and say, "I'm here to speak to Catanthony." It doesn't work that way. So the folks I chatted with either currently take pitches or they have in the past.
A phase shift game pushes some kind of a dimensional envelope, whether that's the envelope of time or space. All of our games have some very unique angle, making use of the 3D space above the board, where so many board games are just flat.
We make a wide spread, so we've got the mass market games like Tinder Blocks, that's probably our most well-known title, all the way up to something like Arborea, which is like super advanced for hobbyists who love board games and advanced board games.
Here at the Cosmos booth, we put out a wide variety of games for both friends and family groups. So if you like things like Exit, The Crew, those are all us.
We're really focused on delivering new gameplay with crazy innovative components. And so we're going to do something like make you build a cardboard sword with your cardboard tiles, or we're going to put Tetris pieces into Lazy Susan so we can play Tetris in space simultaneously.
We're mostly known for Ultimate Werewolf, but we also have bigger hits like Cat in the Box. This year, the new hotness is Rebel.
A quick apology to Jay and the Bezier crew. We had an audio malfunction, so I'll have to add in some subtitles, but he had some great insight that I don't want to lose, so just bear with us. In talking to these 5 publishers, 3 major things kept popping up. Lesson 1, and maybe the most important, do your homework.
It's always best to kind of do your research. Who is your game for? What's the audience? And is that audience overlapping with the publisher that you're kind of thinking of?
Articulate that what for me in an easy way to help me understand it. And that is a great way how to help me understand that this is like a product that belongs in the market. Now, if you come with a cool component and say, "We know you like cool components, so we brought the game out of our pitch catalog that we think has the coolest component that you need to see," all of a sudden now we're talking, right? We're on the same wavelengths.
And sometimes when you think, like, does my game match that publisher? Like, you look at their line, look at what they're selling, look at their brand, I guess, is it full on with that? Your buddy just created a fancy brand, but does the publisher have an in-house brand? Because they're not going to pay your buddy money, and they want to keep the brand existing.
When you're pounding the pavement for publishers, you should be able to find out if they're currently taking pitches and what kind of materials they want.
It has slowed a bit. We have a backlog now of probably 3 to 4 years. We are still taking pitches, but we are much more judicious with which ones we'll even look at further. We put a good write-up on our site about exactly what we're looking for. What does it mean to push a dimensional envelope? So that when we get a submission, we hope that the designers really thought about us and not just some mass kind of communication out to a lot of publishers.
A big misconception about designer and developer. The designer kind of comes up with the idea of the game and has this core mechanics. But the publisher also develops it. The publisher will change it to make it more suitable for the market. And a lot of first-time designers, they want to put all the mechanics in the game. Sometimes the designer will have, I want to roll 50 dice. And I'm like, well, 50 dice is actually really expensive. But there's a way to do what you can do, but at a cheaper way, without taking away too much of the game.
And lastly, while you're researching which publishers are right for your game, maybe send them an email or set up a meeting in advance of an event like GenCon. Most of them have packed schedules with very little wiggle room.
Prepare ahead of time. There are many publishers who post their email to submit to and request a meeting. You can request meetings.
I would always recommend doing it in advance as well. So maybe, a month or 5-6 weeks before the event, send them an email and say, hey, I've got this game, and just follow them and hopefully you'll get a pitch.
It's not enough to have a solid prototype and then just kind of ramble off the cuff. You'll want to nail down what makes your game special in just a few minutes.
Honestly, the hook could be anything. It could even be the name. Mechanically, is it something that no one's seen before, or is it similar to something but it's just doing it in a way better way? Sometimes it's the theme.
Don't be afraid to share it with people. It's totally fun. I think publishers would rather play a novel failure than apply as a number system. The market is so competitive now. More and more games are being published. You need to have something that's really selling.
A lot of the time you'll want a sell sheet, a single page that runs down the basics of your game and hopefully looks pretty while doing so. Or maybe you want to go the video route. For phase shift games, that's their preferred method.
We have seen a bajillion sell sheets. We get a bajillion form letters that just kind of look like they're sent out as a generic letter. As time has gone on, what I've seen is a lot of these designers are coming with a 3 to 5 minute video. It's just them in front of a camera. It doesn't have to be professional, but those are fantastic. And in 3 to 5 minutes, I will know if it's a phase shift game or not. It's also much more personal. Like, I get a sense of the designer, and that's important to us. We assess the designer as much as we do the game that they've designed.
And once you have the publisher's ear, get to what makes your game compelling. Don't shoot yourself in the foot by getting bogged down with details.
Some designers get too much into the rules in a pitch. And, us publishers, we don't have a lot of time. We want to come here and do various things. Practice your pitch in terms of getting to the good stuff. Because as publishers, if we're hooked in, we'll ask you for the rules. Try to make it like a 2 to 3 minute interactive thing, and then see where they're at with the publisher, and then maybe spend an extra 2 to 3 minutes delving deeper into the game.
Much more interested in seeing the components out on the table. Quick, how does it set up? How does a turn or two play? I don't need to see a full playthrough. I don't need to see polished art or anything even remotely of the sort. I need to see what's unique about it. Like, here's what's really the special hook that I was going after as the designer.
I think that is going to be different for everybody. So I can only give my personal, not the company's opinion. But I think just having something that feels like clean and streamlined and really communicates your vision.
And the last big takeaway, maybe not the most fun one, be patient. In the best case, this is a process that takes months, if not years, so even if you don't leave GenCon with a signed contract, you got that ball rolling.
I want people to get excited about the pitch, and then that will make it easier for a publisher or somebody looking for these kind of opportunities to just open their door or like open that communication or take the next step. And it doesn't always end in like the happiest of endings, like we're just going to sign contracts today. Sometimes it happens, but more likely it's like this is a relationship we're building. We're going to see if it's good to work together for the long haul.
And maybe your game isn't the right fit now, but that doesn't mean it won't be later.
We've signed at all stages. Flutter needed very little development. It was already a done game. Some games are much earlier on, and it's a good concept, but we can see that there's a game here, and I tend to work as the developer alongside with the designer. And it's like, if I see something, I'm like, I know we can get this there, and I know you're the right designer to work together to do that with. That's great.
What is a complete game as well, because sometimes designers will pitch what they consider complete, but then the publisher will look at it and go, I like this bit, but I don't like everything else. If you've got a good hook, at that point you can probably start sending the feelers out, but just say, I've got this really good hook, but I'm still working on everything else. Would you be interested? And just see what happens.
My best advice for a first-time designer is that just publish it, self-publish it. Self-publish it and sell it. Do a small print under 500 and start selling it and get it word out. Because the publisher sees that there's already an audience for the game, they're more likely to sign it. If it's your first design, don't be cagey about it. Tell it to everyone. Because if it's really a good idea, you're gonna have to cram it down the protein. Tell everyone.
We love talking to new designers all the time at all stages, whether they're just like, I have an idea and I don't even know how to proceed. And we've helped coach designers getting into some of the tools that are in the industry.
One last bit of advice from the publishers that admittedly isn't always easy for tabletop gamers. Try to break out of your shell and be outgoing. It's hard, yeah, but it makes a big difference.
Best thing I could tell for any designer or anyone who wants to get into the industry is boots on the ground. Are you there? Do you know who you are? Do you shake your hands? Are you meeting people? Are you networking? I don't mean it in a slimy way, but like, if you're top of mind,
Don't be afraid. That's the best advice. Like, be outgoing, be proactive. As introverts, like I am, that can feel awkward to, like, I'm just gonna go up and say, I'm a designer and I want you to consider my game. It is awkward, but they get it all the time. So don't feel like you're gonna be some strange person for doing that.
You just got to have some, I guess, courage to step up and say hello. I mean, like, this is kind of tough to do sometimes, to introduce yourself to someone new.
I think just the more I've been around people and like gotten to know the industry, I think just being confident and being willing to, like, you have to believe what you are selling or what you are pitching, or nobody else will.
That's all great insight, but where to actually use it? Like I mentioned, it's great to set up a meeting a few weeks in advance. But for our sake, conference rooms don't really film well. Luckily, there are a couple other ways to shoot your shot. A few years back, we covered the first exposure playtest hall, where games in the prototype stage have a chance to get some real human stress testing in. Publishers will occasionally drop in to see what's being tested and if there's a potential fit for their studio. And on the other side of it, players get to try the next big thing while it's still just markers and index cards. But there's another opportunity just down the street from the convention hall that isn't afraid to put the romance back into independent tabletop game production. The Indie Game Alliance's designer-publisher speed dating. Matt Holden from the IGA has been putting on the event for the last few years.
Basically what we do is everything in our power to make indie publishing suck a little less, any way that we can. For those folks, it's all about meeting publishers and getting to pitch their game. So just like a speed dating event where you're trying to pitch yourself to a potential partner, we'll set up like 15 or 16 games at a time, and we'll have publishers sort of walk around the room and take a 5-minute sort of real quick like elevator pitch about what the game is to try to make a connection between publishers who are in the market to pick up new games and designers who have games that are looking to be picked up.
At the Slippery Noodle Inn, designers set up their table with their prototype, a sell sheet, and any other fixins. Publishers will then float from table to table, hearing them out and asking things like, how heavy is your game? What's the target audience? And any other of the 36 questions to fall in love. Maddie Schrader is a game designer working on Oops All Bangers, a game about creating the perfect mixtape. This isn't her first time at speed dating.
A bunch of designers get together, sit around a room, and publishers show up, and we pitch the games back to back to back to back until we talk to all the publishers.
And how much time do you get with each publisher?
About 5 minutes.
Oh wow, okay. So if all of this goes well, what are the next steps?
Reaching out to the publishers who found interest and hoping to have a conversation, maybe get them to play the game and actually sit down at the table at the convention and enjoy the game with me.
And maybe by the end of it all, the daters can find a game to bring home to mom. Mom here being a publishing company.
These are people who've had a dream for 20 years and didn't know what to do about it, and every single time that we help one of these people, it's like Christmas came for them, and it's so important to me and to so many other people in the industry who help in different ways to do things. We're kind of unique in this industry, but there's a lot of people like the Cardboard Edison folks who have that same sort of mindset, and they went at the problem they knew how to solve, just like we went at the problem we knew how to solve. And I want to kind of just shout out everybody in the community that's lending a hand to the people who need it and deserve it.
Matt shouted out some great resources in our chat, so I'll have them linked down below. And look, Matt and the IGA know trying to get your game published is a weird, difficult process with a ton of factors. There's always the possibility that you want to skip the publisher entirely and go straight to crowdfunding. But that's a whole other video. But with events like these, all these creative minds together, maybe a few Gen Cons from now, it'll be your game people are carrying around in their capaciously large tote bags. I look forward to it. That'll do it for another year at Gen Con. I got some time. I'm gonna head back inside, play some games, maybe go destitute, and I'll have another video of everything I played here at Gen Con going up soon on WTIU socials. And if you're a game designer, I want to hear about what you're making. Show off, brag about yourself, do your thing down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around the game table. 3, 2, 3. I just want to say that the medieval loot man, lootinist, I believe it's what it's called, is my mortal enemy.